Jakob, you've had a couple days to explore Stockholm. You've been to Sweden once before, but what's this experience been like for you?
It's been great. Other than the sleep, it's been really fun. It's been a nice opportunity to visit, explore Stockholm a little bit. We've had a couple really nice dinners with the guys. Brandy and Forsey have been showing us around. And
they know where to take you?
They know the spots. Yeah, they didn't miss on the dinners, and yeah, it's been really good. It's been a nice visit for sure.
And you have family here. You have some family friends from over in Europe that have come to see you as well. But you also have a close connection on the Minnesota Wild that'll be kind of cool to go up against him.
Yeah, Brandon Duhaime. Yeah, I grew up playing with him in Florida, South Florida. Actually, one of our other best buddies that we grew up playing in South Florida with made the trip as well with his parents and sister. So yeah, a lot of family here, a lot of friends. We have Danish family friends that we're really close with that are making the short trip over for the games, and it's just a great experience. I think I haven't been a part of any overseas games or outdoor games in my career, so it's nice to kind of have this experience and just enjoy it and soak it in. Yeah.
So you mentioned that a couple of your teammates know where to take you here to restaurants, but I know you're a big nutrition guy.
Yeah.
How do you manage when you're on the road?
Yeah, it's definitely harder. It's been different. I think the pregame meals and breakfast at the hotel is easier because we give them what we want, so it's nice to have the options there. But when we're going out, I mean, I don't beat myself up too much about it. I just try to enjoy. And
so, walk me through give me a breakfast when you're on the road.
Like a team breakfast,
yeah,
or
what
if I'm going to a
eating?
restaurant.
Team breakfast.
Yeah, team breakfast. I'm just eating. I eat a lot of eggs every morning. Plain Greek yogurt with berries, maybe a little honey or maple syrup. So I eat lots of fruit. I'll occasionally have some sourdough bread. Sourdough is kind of the only bread
the only carb
I'll
mostly
eat.
that you
Yeah. Well, in the mornings.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm having some sort of sweet potato in the morning, which is rare. But yeah, because usually pregame meal I'll have the sweet potato or white rice. But yeah, that and fruit and honey are kind of my main source of carbs. And then just lots of meat, like in the morning, lots of eggs, bacon. Try to get beef sauce, all 100% beef sausages or whatever I can find, and then avocado and some salt, and that's really it.
So what's the best way to describe is it carnivore
They call
heavy?
it animal based.
Okay.
So you're really basing it around your proteins, which are all, I try to source them from the highest of quality spots I can, whether it's local farms back home in Ottawa, what we've been doing for our eggs, and we try to find grass-fed, grass-finished beef, which is harder in Canada, I've come to find out. And so yeah, that's kind of the basis of your diet is your protein. I love wild caught fish. A lot of the farmed fish, which is really the majority of what you find in stores these days, is fed a pretty poor diet, and they pump it with antibiotics and coloring. Like the salmon, they say when you get farmed salmon, it's really gray, and they feed it
and you can
food
tell
dye
right away. You're looking for it,
yeah,
but
it's just the nutrients that are in it are of a much lesser degree than when you get wild caught or even wild beef. I've been trying to find I have friends who hunt and stuff, and if you can get a wild elk or something like that, the nutrients in there is just so much better than anything that's store bought.
I've learned here in Sweden they're big on deer. They love
Yeah,
deer.
venison's great. Yeah, venison's
Did you have
awesome.
any of that here so far?
We have not had any venison. We went to an unbelievable steakhouse, AG Steakhouse, which I really enjoyed. Really good food.
That would be right up your alley.
Yeah, the steakhouses are...
You can't miss, and there's one in every city. So.
Yeah, for sure.
How'd you get so passionate about your nutrition?
I've always been big into health and wellness since a young age. I don't know why. I mean, I started working out at a young age, and I mean, man, I could talk for hours about kind of the trials and tribulations I've been through personally with just a whole bunch of health and wellness and training and everything. And I've learned so much as I've gone along. And I really think, what I'm doing now is it's funny that I say the last like 3 or 4 years, I've changed things here and there. And every year I would say, man, I'm really doing the right thing for me. But so I feel like I sound like a broken record to my family and whatever. But now I truly feel like what I did this summer with training and, and the way I was eating, I'm really moving what I feel is like in a long-term direction for me. It's like,
what's been the difference, you think? Can you feel a difference?
Oh yeah, I can feel a big difference. Like the way I trained this summer was drastic from years past. I think years past I would really just lift as much as I could and try to get as strong as I could, because that's kind of been the what people preach is just getting as strong and fast as possible. And I think, in ways some guys might need that, and in ways you do need that, and that's really good. But I think I was doing that for so long. I was just kind of breaking things down a little bit, and then I had the surgeries and whatnot, and
then you're rushing to kind of recover from those.
And you're rushing and you're coming back and you have compensations, and when you're lifting heavy with compensations, it's awful. One thing leads to another, and it just kind of is a snowball effect. And that's kind of something I found was, I'm thinking I'm doing all the right things and getting myself in the best position to recover and get back to playing as quickly as possible. But I think I was sort of sacrificing other things to do that. And so
you actually got to skate more this summer too, right?
Oh yeah,
that was
awesome.
The big difference from before.
Yeah,
instead of rehabbing, you're skating.
It seriously seemed like I hadn't had a summer where I could just play hockey and skate, every day. And
does that make a difference? Like gone are the days of when I first started covering this league 15 years ago, guys would put their equipment away and they August 1st is like when they'd finally start to get out there again.
And that's not really a thing.
You just
anymore.
Keep skating.
Yeah, tons. I mean, you take a little break at the end of the year for sure. But guys skate all throughout the summer now, and I think that's key. You want to keep the feel of the game, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that the last number of years, and so it is nice to kind of have that under my belt and be able to, have a really good summer of skating and training and feel really healthy going into the year. I think in the years past, even towards the end of the summer, lifting really heavy and doing everything I could, but you don't really feel like the body's in the best position even going into the year. And then for how long the year is, it's hard to maintain. So I'm really happy with the summer I had, and it's a grind. I mean, I'm not going to say it's just every day for me. I'm constantly doing everything I can to stay in the best shape as possible, and it is such a long year. And my goal has always been to stay healthy, and obviously I haven't been able to do that. So it's something I take a lot of pride in, and I put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, and it's like a 24/7 thing for me. So
not to say you got that reputation, but some guys, no matter what you do, you can't, bad luck, whatever it might be, you can't stay healthy. It's got to wear on you a bit. A lot of mine,
I mean, I know people like to talk about my injuries, but man, the first one I had was training. It was doing hill sprints in the summer, and I stepped in a pothole, twisted my knee, had meniscus surgery. That was my first major surgery in the NHL. Came back from that, was playing some of my best hockey. It was my second year. That was the summer of after my first season in the NHL, and then second year in the NHL. I come back from that first surgery, was playing some of my best hockey. We had 3 games left in the year in Arizona. We were long gone out of the playoffs. And in Calgary, I got slew-footed from behind. And a guy just skated behind me and took my leg out from under me. My leg hyperextended, my ACL popped. And then, so that was back-to-back summers, major knee surgeries. And then, from there, it's just been like a snowball of other things. My wrist was
that was a serious surgery too, right?
Yeah. I tore a ligament in my wrist, and that was just a simple. I was making a play up the wall, and a guy just kind of skated in and finished his hit on me and skated through my wrist, and it hyperextended again. And
no amount of training can help
No,
any
not
of
at
those
all.
things.
I mean, that's kind of the way I feel. So they have been unfortunate, but it's never got me discouraged. I always knew I was going to be able to, overcome kind of everything and anything I was going to go through. And the unfortunate thing with the wrist was the rehab that I was doing, I think, compromised the surgery a bit. So it stretched it. And then I had to get it done again. And then I was having skate issues, really bad skate issues, where one of my left skate was always misaligned. So I remember the first time they sent me these new pair of skates, I was walking to the rink and my ankle was rolling. I wore the same skates my whole life and I didn't think anything of it. Like I never had any equipment issues. And
what's the solution for that?
It's been an ongoing process. It's been a couple of years of unbelievable headaches, but
and everyone's trying to help you and find
we've been working
manufacturers
nonstop.
team.
It got to the point where in Arizona I had the team go and get me a pair off the shelf from a hockey store in Chicago.
Go on down to
they
Pure
got
Hockey
me a stock pair of skates of a different company, and I wore them in morning skate that day and then wore them the rest of the season just because I was so sick of fiddling around and try to get them right. I mean, I was putting wedges in the holders. Like, it's just ridiculous stuff. And then, you got to go out and try to defend Connor McDavid. Like, it's just a recipe for
something
disaster.
we never see or
exactly.
Really
Nobody really knows those little things. And what happened was, since I played it was like 2 full years with this issue, I developed a bone spur in my ankle. And then at the end of that season, I got a high ankle sprain that lit up the bone spur. And so I was coming back from the high ankle sprain and feeling great. My ankle was feeling great, but I literally couldn't bend my ankle because the bone spur. So I had to go. Then that was another surgery. I had to go in and get that shaved out. So it's like equipment issues and unfortunate training, stepping in a pothole. And it's just things that you can't really plan for. But hey, I mean, we're here, and I feel better than ever. And I've gone through a lot, but I'm keeping a positive outlook, and I feel like I'm in one of the best places I've been in a while. So
you feel good. Where's your game at?
I think I feel great. Like I think my legs feel really good. Like I weighed like 235 a couple seasons ago. Like last season I got down to about 220. Now I'm at like 210, and I feel like I could skate forever. Like I think I've been playing a lot of minutes this year, and I feel great. Like I feel like a kid again, honestly, which is awesome. Not that I'm that old, but
you've been through a lot, as you just documented.
No, for sure. But I feel really good. And it's been nice to have like a training camp with the guys, because obviously you get traded, and it's just a crazy whirlwind of events, and kind of hectic to kind of join a new squad and jump right into things. And so it's been a nice start here with the guys to just kind of get going with them. And I think we're still trying to find our complete game as a team. And, but we're working at it each day and taking steps in the right direction. So
you're coming up on 9 months since the trade. Off the ice kind of seems like a perfect fit. Your sister was already living in Ottawa. Your grandparents are there. What's it been like for you?
It's been great. I mean, like you said, to have the family there has been really special. My grandpa's been somebody that I've looked up to my whole life, and he's been, one of my favorite people that is in my life. And I think to have the opportunity to play in front of him and my sister and cousins and aunts and uncles every night is very special. And
he's 85 now. Does he get
He's 85, yeah.
Does he get to a lot of games?
Yeah, he gets to pretty much all of them. He hurt his ankle about a year ago now and never really looked after it. So I'm making him go in for some physio now, and he's doing better. So that was kind of slowing him down a little bit, and he took a game off here or there just because he wanted to watch from home. But I'm making sure he's doing his physio so he can get to all of them. So
well, you're nice and close by.
Yeah.
Just from a team perspective, it's obviously been a bumpy start. There's been some drama. There's been a suspension, a forfeiture of a draft pick. Your GM's been fired. It's all been in the first 6 weeks of the year. Where are you guys at right now?
Yeah, it has been has been a pretty hectic start. I think for us as a group, we've just tried to do our best to block it out, which is obviously tough. I mean, we were kind of the talk of a lot of different topics there for a while, and so it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Obviously in the Canadian market and stuff, there's always going to be those talks and whatnot. And I think, for us, we're just doing our best to keep what's inside the room and focus on us and focus on one day at a time and continuing to improve. And that's really all you can control. So at the end of the day, that's all you got to focus on. And that's what we're doing our best job of doing right now.
So Steve Staios, one of the first things he mentioned publicly was stability. We got to kind of quiet things down, calm things down. Have you noticed that since he's been in charge?
He's been incredible. Yeah, he's been really, really good for us. That was his message from day one, and he preached that to us. Had a couple of different meetings where, he really wanted to make sure, they were going to do everything they could to handle that with the media and just take the pressure off the guys and allow us to focus on our jobs and what we have to do. And he's really, walked the walk with things he's been saying he's going to do for us. And guys respect him a lot for that. And he's been a very calming presence for our organization.
When you're staring at the standings and you got a long way to go, it's a long season, but there were expectations coming into this year. We can be a playoff team. We're going to be a playoff team. How do you manage that, knowing the work that's ahead of you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that is something that we believe in, to our core. I think it's just a matter of executing each night. And in terms of managing, we know it's going to have to come from within. It's so early in the year, and obviously, that's kind of things that, make headlines when people talk about the expectations and whatnot. And we know it's going to be talked about. And for us, we just need to do our parts and stand in the moment and not really getting caught up in it. And like I said, controlling what we can control. It's such a long season. There's going to be ups and downs, and wasn't necessarily the start we wanted, but we have a lot of confidence in our group.
Ups and downs. There were ups and downs just in your first game here in Sweden, up 4-0, tied. Did you guys know at the end of it that player of the game? I know Brady was excited after. Did you guys know that there was a player of the game award on the line and a Rolex up for grabs?
No, we didn't. We did not. No, it was a nice little present there, and we had no idea. But good on the PA for doing that for the guys. It's a nice touch. So the boys are going to be hungry for that watching game too.
Good on you for stopping by, Jakob Chychrun. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Frank.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Seravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.